All right, let me come down. I'll get it from your feet leave. All right, when you're ready. All right, 13.9, rating of 52, as you can see, and a stroke index of 2.4. But we sort of expected that because we know that you're a high rating swimmer. All right, Shen. Hang on a sec. All right, on your feet, leave when you're ready. So what's our highest so far? Sam's on 3.8. Very good. 13.6, rating of 34. Stroke index, 3.8. Very good. Very good. All right, last one. All right, when you're ready. Very good. 14.5, rating of 37, stroke index of 3.1. So pretty good. Pretty good for fly. All right, does anyone want to try and beat their result? All right. You want to go freestyle? Absolutely. All right, so let me reset. Okay. All right, when you're ready. Very good. 13.2, rating of 43, stroke index 3.2. Same as your backstroke. All right, who else wants to go for it? Sam, we want to over 4. All right. Stretch it out. So remember, it's not about speed, it's about efficiency. So try and lengthen that stroke out. Try and make as much ground as you possibly can. Swim big when you're ready. All right, time of 12.6, rating of 32, and, which hopefully is all right, had a stroke index of 4.7. It looks pretty comfortable. That didn't look 200 ready, I don't know.
Who wants to go next?
Yeah, who's going to next?
You said you wanted to go. Did you get it?
Okay. Oh, yeah, of course. All right, stroke rating of 38, time of 13.3, stroke index of 3.6. Very good. I almost want to do yours again, Sam, just to make sure that was accurate. All right, who wants to get another one? One more? Anyone? Shen. All right, when you're ready. Okay, 36 rating, 13.2, index 3.8. All right, Sam, I want you to do one more just to make sure that was accurate. Yeah, when you're ready. Uh, 12.4, rating of 36, index 4.2. So it probably was, because you were slower on the other one. Hey? Yeah, you definitely had higher. So the other one I think was 32, that was 36. Index 4.2. So as Dean says before, it's not about trying to go fast, it's about trying to be efficient. It's one of those funny things. I remember growing up and my dad trying to explain to me fuel efficiency in a car. I was just like, and one of the questions I asked was, at what speed are you most efficient? Like when you're driving slowly, it seems to be that it's inefficient to drive a car because you're not going very far. But then at a high speed, you've got lots of resistance, wind resistance, so then it's inefficient then. What speed is the most efficient? And I think I eventually worked out it's like about 80 or thereabouts is like the most efficient. And it's the sort of thing with this. You need to get enough speed in your stroke to actually be moving along, but you don't want to be going so fast that you're burning speed, and obviously the faster you go, the more resistance. So it's a measure of energy efficiency, stroke efficiency, and also body efficiency as well as you're going through the water. So if you've got a strong kick, your body's high in the water, you're not creating active drag through your stroke, etc., you're going to get a good score, and that's going to put you in bode you well for your actual races. So another feature in watch mode is stroke index, and all you need to do is be able to get a time and a rating, and the watch will work that out for you. So we saw this before in the video, and the stroke index is an indicator of their efficiency. The higher the number, the more efficient they are. The lower the number, the less efficient. A good number, anything above 4 is excellent, 3 is very good, 2 is good, and 1 is poor. We might need to do a bit more work on some drills. But it's a really good thing to be able to show the swimmers straight off. First thing you need to do is just make sure that you're in the right length, the right course length, and you can do that within the settings menu. We're in 25 meters here. So when they leave the wall, we press the button, and as their feet leaves, we get their time. Somewhere in the middle, we get their stroke rating. So we'll start off with 1, 1, 2, 3. Their third stroke rating will be that. So I've got a stroke rating of 38.2, and then they hit the wall then. So I'll long press at the end there just to make sure we've stopped. We got a time of 15.6 seconds for 25 meter swim with a stroke rating of 38, and you can see rate, it's nice and easy. And it's labeled here, stroke index of 2.5, so that's something for them to work on. 2.5 is a very good score, but if we can get that up to slightly higher, when we can do that by getting the same time with a lower rating, or the same rating with a faster time, and it even gives you a SWOLF score, so it basically works out at that rating, you'd be doing roughly 27 strokes and seconds together to get a SWOLF score of 27, and distance per stroke of 2 meters per stroke. So it does a lot of maths for you. You don't have to do it, but it gives the swimmers lots of information in which to improve their efficiency and speed. So the next thing we'll look at is one of the functions within watch mode. Now normally in watch mode, fairly simple, start, stop, getting ratings on the side as well, which is really handy. And one of my favorite features is showing those ratings going through. So the next rating we would get, we'll shift that one along, and being able to keep a memory of those, which is really good and great on race day. But one of the things on race day is if I press the button when I hear the go, I've got my reaction as part of that time. And so my times on the watch are always going to be faster than the swimmer's times, because the official timing will go off the noise that I'm reacting off. So one of the things we can do is we can set our reaction time at the bottom. So down there you can see R for reaction and double O, and I can, sorry, wrong button, I can change that up to now. So a reaction of 0.16, 0.17, 0.18, 0.19, 0.2. What that basically means is that is where it's going to start the watch. So I'm going to set this at 0.22. So I'll clear the watch. So this is actually going to start the stopwatch at 0.22. Rather than starting at 0, it has a reaction compensation of 0.22 of a second. So when I hear the starter start the race, take your marks, go, I react slightly after that go, and it started at 0.22. And now when I give the time to the swimmers, they're all going to be accurate because I've allowed for that compensation. The easiest way to actually work out what your reaction is the first race of the day, go off the starter and then press it at the end and see what difference of a time. You'll usually be about 0.2 of a second faster than the time on the scoreboard because of that reaction. So you know to set your reaction to around 0.2. For the rest of the day, you'll be bang on. We already know that the Auto Coach watch does so much, but even just in watch mode, it is really, really handy, really, really useful features that you'll use all the time. I find myself using watch mode quite a lot, especially with the rating function. But sometimes, especially when you've got lots of swimmers, or even one swimmer where you want to get a number of ratings, there's a lot of information. And sometimes the swimmer will come to the end of the lane and you'll forget what their ratings were or forget what their splits were. So one of the great features in here is it'll keep a track of all of those ratings. So let's say this scenario, we've got two swimmers and we want to get a rating for each one of them over their lap. We start them off at the same time as we go through. And then let's say they're doing 100 meters and we want to give them ratings on each one. So I get a rating for the first swimmer and they've got a rating of a 43, a little bit low for that one. Then I'm going to get another rating. This could be the same swimmer or another swimmer. And you can see there, it's stored that and moved that along. They've now got to the end of the lap, so I'm going to split it, but I've stored those two times. We've now got to the end of the lap. That's the first split for the swimmer. You can maybe do multiple splits through there. But now when I get a rating, it moves it along one. You can see there, whether this is the same swimmer a second time or another swimmer, we do another rating and we get that rating there and it moves along. So when the swimmers come to the end, or even that one swimmer, they come to the end, I can show them that they had a split time of 25.7 with a rating of 43 to 50, and then their final time was 43 seconds with a rating of 46 and 51. So all that information is on the screen. And you don't have to memorize everything, and you can even prove it to them at the end. They love being able to see the numbers to prove that it really was real. One of the main features in watch mode, of course, is the stopwatch, start, stop, but this button works as well in watch mode as your rating, and you'll see on the top the instruction of that is a rate 3 and a long press for clear. So when I press at the start of a cycle, I then wait for 3 and then hit the end, and that is my rating at the end. But sometimes if you want multiple ratings per lap, or you've got lots of people and you want to get a quicker, it takes sometimes a long time to get 3 full cycles all the way through, we can actually change what that rating is. So first thing we do is we just need to go through to settings mode. So I'll just rotate through to setup. We'll change this mode through to, let me see, rate count. Here we go, and we can see 3 cycles, 2 cycles, 1 cycle, or dual watch. I actually leave mine on 2 cycles. I find I count 1 when on the first entry or first part of the cycle, 2, and then 3. So even though I'm counting to 3, it is 2, if that makes sense. We save that, and then I can change back to watch mode. Now we do entry, first cycle, a bit keen there, entry, first cycle, second cycle, and we've got a rating of 50.5. So we can get that rating a lot quicker. This also means if I cycle back to our setup mode, you can see at the top here it has a mode called dual watch. So I can go up here. If we don't want the settings, we don't want the stroke rating at all, now we have 2 watches. So this is watch 2, and we can start on that side, and we can also start a second watch down there. So we can get splits off that, and those splits will be shown up there as lap counters, and we can get splits on this watch as well. So if I've got 2 groups going, I might have the distance guys, and I just want to keep an eye on them. So I will start the distance group off with this one, and now I know that they're off, and I can keep an eye on them, keep a basic track of how they're going, and I can set the sprinters off and give them individual times. I can long press and stop this one, but that one keeps going. I can start this one again, get splits, stop it, and this one keeps going. I can get splits off that, but it'll still keep going in the background as it goes. So a really useful feature having 2 watches on the one.